The first time I heard them whispering about selling my house, I thought I'd misunderstood. The second time, I knew I hadn't. The third time, I hired someone to follow them. For 93 days, a man named Marcus documented every meeting, every forged signature, every lie they told while I smiled and poured their coffee. They thought I was too old to notice. But I wasn't old. I was patient. And patience, I've learned, is the sharpest weapon of all. It started on a Tuesday morning in March. I was upstairs folding linens when I heard Trevor's voice drift up through the heating vent. His tone was different. Not the casual warmth he used when asking about my doctor's appointments or suggesting I rest more. This was business. Cold. Calculated. The appraisal came back at $950,000, he said. Once we get the power of attorney signed, we can list it by June. I stopped mid-fold. The pillowcase hung limp in my hands. Cassandra's voice followed, lighter, almost giddy. And she has no idea. None, Trevor said. She trusts me. The heat kicked on. Their voices faded into static. But those words stayed sharp. 950,000. Power of attorney. List it by June. I sat on the edge of the bed, the same bed I'd slept in for 42 years. The same bed where my husband had died holding my hand. The same house Trevor had grown up in, where I'd bandaged his scraped knees and stayed up late helping him write college essays. I didn't cry. I didn't rage. I walked downstairs, poured them both fresh coffee, and asked if they wanted cream. Trevor smiled. Thanks, Mom. You're the best. I smiled back. And I started planning. The house had been in my family for 3 generations. My grandmother bought it in 1947 with money she'd saved working as a seamstress. She raised 5 children here. My mother inherited it, raised me here. And when she passed 12 years ago, it came to me. Trevor knew the history. He'd heard the stories at every family dinner. But somewhere along the line, history became dollar signs. He'd moved back in 2 years ago after what he called a career transition. Cassandra came with him. She was polished, charming, quick with compliments about my cooking. I'd welcomed them. Told them to stay as long as they needed. Weeks turned into months. Months into years. They talked about looking for their own place, but the conversation always ended the same way. Why rush? You have all this space, Mom. And we are helping you. Helping. That word did a lot of work. They mowed the lawn. Brought in groceries. Cassandra even organized my medicine cabinet once, color-coding everything by purpose. I thanked her. I didn't tell her I'd been managing my own pills for 7 decades without issue. Then the little thing started. Documents left on the counter for me to sign. Just updating your emergency contacts, Mom. A new bank account they suggested I open. 4 easier transfers. Questions about my will, my insurance, my monthly income. I signed some things. Declined others. Played the part of the aging mother who appreciated the concern but wasn't quite ready to hand over control. But that Tuesday morning changed everything. By Thursday, I'd made my decision. I needed proof. Not suspicion. Not hurt feelings. Evidence. I found Marcus Chen through a colleague's daughter who worked in family law. His office was a small space above a dry cleaner on Burnside Street. No flashy sign. No receptionist. Just a man in his 50s with tired eyes and a methodical way of asking questions. What do you need? He asked, pen poised over a yellow notepad. Documentation, I said. My son and his wife are planning to sell my house without my knowledge. I need to know how, when, and who's helping them. He didn't ask if I was sure. Didn't offer empty reassurances. Just nodded. Retainer is $3,000. I'll need photos of them, their vehicle, daily routines. I handed him an envelope. Inside was $3,000 in cash and everything he asked for. How long? I asked. As long as it takes, he said. But based on what you've told me, they're not amateurs. This is organized. That means paper trails. I'll find them. We shook hands. I left through the back exit. The first report came a week later. Marcus had followed Trevor to a meeting at a law office downtown. Not my lawyer. A stranger. Marcus had photographed him entering and leaving, captured the name on the office directory. Roland Voss, estate and property law. I looked him up that night. His website advertised services in elder transitions, asset management, and conservatorship cases. The kind of lawyer you hire when you want to take control of someone else's life. The second report came 10 days after that. Cassandra had visited a notary public in Beaverton. She'd brought documents. Marcus couldn't see what they were, but he'd noted the time, the location, the name of the notary. I called Marcus. Can you find out what she filed? Already on it, he said. 3 days later, he sent me a scanned image. A power of attorney form. My signature at the bottom. Except I'd never signed it. The notary's stamp was real. The witness signatures were real. But mine? A forgery. I stared at it for a long time. Then I printed 3 copies. One for my files. One for my lawyer. One for the police, but I didn't call anyone yet. I wanted more. March bled into April. Marcus kept working. I kept smiling. Kept pouring coffee. Kept asking Trevor about his job search and complimenting Cassandra's new haircut. At night, I read Marcus's reports like a detective novel. Except this story was mine. And the villain was my son. April 13th. Trevor met with a real estate agent at a coffee shop on Hawthorne. Marcus recorded the conversation from a nearby table. They discussed listing strategies, staging recommendations, and projected sale timelines. The agent handed Trevor a folder. Market analysis for my address. April 21st. Cassandra visited a bank. She tried to add her name to one of my accounts using the forged power of attorney. The teller, thank God, asked for additional verification. Cassandra left without completing the transaction. April 30th. Another meeting with Roland Voss. This time, both Trevor and Cassandra attended. Marcus sat in the lobby, watched them leave with a large envelope. He followed them to a FedEx store where they made copies. May 6th. Marcus intercepted their trash. Inside, he found drafts. Early versions of documents they'd been perfecting. My medical history, exaggerated. Claims of memory loss I'd never experienced. A letter, supposedly from my doctor, recommending I no longer live independently. I called my doctor the next day. He confirmed he'd never written such a letter. He also agreed to document that fact in writing. The net was tightening. But I still waited. May 15th. The break I'd been waiting for. Marcus followed Trevor to a UPS store. He mailed something. Marcus sweet-talked the clerk after Trevor left, learned the destination. County Recorder's Office. I knew what that meant. They were filing the forged power of attorney officially. Once recorded, it would give them legal authority over my assets. My house. My life. I called my attorney, Diane Thornbury. We'd worked together when my husband passed. She knew me. Knew I was sharp. I need an emergency meeting, I said. She cleared her schedule. I brought everything. Marcus's reports. The forged documents. The fake medical letter. The recordings. The photographs. Diane spread them across her conference table like a prosecuting attorney preparing for trial. This is fraud, she said. Elder abuse. Forgery. You could have them arrested today. Not yet, I said. I want them caught in the act. She looked at me for a long moment. Then she smiled. Not out of cruelty. Out of respect. Then we'll need to involve the police, she said. And we'll need perfect timing. We called Detective Lisa Brennan. She specialized in financial crimes and elder exploitation. She arrived an hour later, reviewed everything, and didn't waste time. When are they planning to execute? She asked. I don't know, I said. But Marcus is still watching. Keep him on it, Brennan said. The second they try to use that power of attorney in an official capacity, we move. I nodded. One more thing, she added. You're going to have to keep playing along. Can you do that? I thought about Trevor pouring me tea this morning, asking if I'd slept well. kissing my cheek before leaving. Yes, I said. I can do that. The call came on May 28 at 2:47 p.m. Marcus. His voice was clipped, urgent. They just scheduled a notary appointment for June 3 at 10 a.m. Location is a mobile notary service. Documents to be signed include a quitclaim deed transferring your property into a family trust. You're listed as a co-trustee, but they'll have management control. You're sure? I asked. I saw the confirmation email. Cassandra left her laptop open at a cafe. I photographed the screen. I called Diane. She called Detective Brennan. By 6 p.m., we had a plan. June 3rd. I would go to the appointment. I would sit down. I would listen. And when they handed me the pen, the police would walk in. The days leading up to it were the hardest. Not because I doubted the plan, but because I had to look Trevor in the eye and pretend I didn't know what he was. On June 1st, he sat me down in the living room. His face was soft, concerned. Mom, Cassandra, and I have been talking. We think it's time to set up some legal protections. You know, in case something happens. What kind of protections? I asked. A family trust. It'll keep the house safe. Make sure everything's in order. You'll still live here. Nothing changes. We just want to help. I let my face show confusion. I don't understand all that legal stuff. You don't have to, he said gently. We have a notary coming on Monday. You just sign a few papers. We'll handle the rest. I nodded slowly. Okay, if you think it's best. He hugged me. It is, Mom. We're doing this for you. I hugged him back. And felt nothing. June 3rd arrived cool and clear. I dressed carefully. A soft blue cardigan. Pearl earrings. I wanted to look exactly like the fragile old woman they thought I was. At 9:45 a.m., Cassandra knocked on my bedroom door. Ready, Mom? She asked brightly. Ready, I said. We drove to a small office park in Tigard. The notary, a cheerful woman named Brenda, had set up in a rented conference room. Trevor was already there, papers spread across the table like a feast. Mrs. Hayes, Brenda said warmly. Please, have a seat. I sat. Cassandra sat beside me. Trevor stood behind my chair, one hand on my shoulder. This won't take long, Brenda said. Just a few signatures. I'll walk you through everything. She started explaining. Trust formation. Asset protection. Co-trustee responsibilities. The words blurred together. I nodded at the right moments. Then she slid the first document toward me. The quitclaim deed. This transfers your property into the family trust, she said. It protects the home from probate and ensures smooth management. Trevor squeezed my shoulder. It's okay, Mom. This is good. I picked up the pen. Let my hand tremble slightly, and then the door opened. Detective Brennan walked in first. 2 uniformed officers behind her. Diane followed. Calm and precise, Brenda stood. Excuse me, this is a private. Brennan held up her badge. This is a police matter. Trevor's hand left my shoulder. Cassandra went pale. Mrs. Hayes, Brennan said, looking at me. Are you here voluntarily? I set down the pen. Yes. But I'd like to know what these documents actually say. Diane stepped forward. She picked up the quitclaim deed, scanned it, then looked at Trevor. This document transfers full ownership of the property to Trevor and Cassandra Hayes. The trust structure is a shell. Mrs. Hayes would retain no legal control. Brenda's face went white. I was told. You were lied to, Diane said. Brennan turned to Trevor and Cassandra. We have evidence of forgery, fraud, and attempted financial exploitation of a vulnerable adult. You're both under arrest. Cassandra started crying. We were helping her. She's confused. She doesn't understand. I understand perfectly, I said quietly. Trevor looked at me. Really looked. And for the first time in 2 years, I saw something flicker in his face. Not remorse. Fear. Mom, he started. Don't, I said. The officers moved forward. Read them their rights. Handcuff them both. As they were led out, Trevor looked back. You set us up. No, I said. I protected myself. The door closed. The room went silent. Brenda was shaking. I had no idea. I swear I didn't know. We know, Diane said. You're not in trouble. But we'll need a statement. Brenda nodded frantically. Detective Brennan turned to me. Are you all right, Mrs. Hayes? I stood. Smoothed my cardigan. I'm fine. We'll need you to come to the station. Give a full statement. It might take a few hours. I have time, I said, because I did. I had all the time in the world now. And a house that was still mine. I gave my statement at the precinct. Every detail. Every forged document. Every recorded conversation. Diane sat beside me, occasionally clarifying legal points. Detective Brennan took notes, her expression unreadable but respectful. When it was over, she walked me out. This isn't easy, she said. Pressing charges against family. It wasn't easy being betrayed by them either, I said. She nodded. The DA will be in touch. With the evidence you've provided, this is airtight. They'll likely offer a plea deal. I don't want a deal, I said. I want accountability. She studied me for a moment. You'll get it. I drove home alone. The house was empty. Quiet. I walked through each room slowly. The kitchen where I'd poured them coffee while they plotted. The living room where Trevor had hugged me and lied. The bedroom where I'd first heard their whispers through the vent. None of it felt tainted. It just felt like mine again. I made myself tea. Sat on the back porch. The garden needed weeding. I'd do it tomorrow. My phone buzzed. A text from Diane. Restraining order approved. They cannot contact you or come within 500 feet of your property. I typed back. Thank you. Another message. This one from Marcus. Final invoice attached. But honestly, this one's on the house. Glad you're safe. I smiled. Transferred him double his fee anyway. The trial took 4 months. I attended every day. Sat in the front row. Watched as prosecutor after prosecutor laid out the evidence. The forged signatures. The fake medical records. The recordings of their meetings. Trevor's lawyer tried to paint me as vindictive. A mother weaponizing the legal system out of spite, but the evidence didn't care about narrative. It cared about facts. On October 9th, the jury returned. Guilty on all counts. Sentencing came 3 weeks later. Trevor got 18 months in minimum security. Cassandra got 12. Both were ordered to pay restitution. $73,000. The amount they'd already spent in preparation for selling my house. I didn't speak at sentencing. Didn't ask for leniency or harsher punishment. Just sat and watched justice happen. When it was over, Diane touched my arm. How do you feel? Tired, I said. And I was. Not defeated. Just done. I sold the house 6 months later. Not because they'd ruined it. But because I wanted something new. Somewhere without ghosts. I bought a small cottage 2 hours north. Ocean view. 1 bedroom. A garden plot that gets full sun. I don't hear from Trevor. The restraining order expired, but he's never reached out. Cassandra sent 1 letter. An apology. It felt hollow. I didn't respond. Some people ask if I regret it. If I wish I'd handled it differently. Given them a chance to explain, but there was nothing to explain. They made a choice. So did I. I wake up now to the sound of waves. Drink my coffee on a porch that's just mine. Work in a garden where no one's plotting behind my back, and when I go to sleep at night, I don't check the locks twice or wonder what's being whispered in the next room, because patience taught me something Trevor never learned. The sharpest weapon isn't rage. It's clarity, and I've never seen more clearly in my life.